This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Dan McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Kat Tomaszewski from Besser Museum. Good morning, Kat.
Good morning.
I know you're always so busy at the museum, and as we were talking before we start taping, you know, you hear, oh, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to do. I don't know how people can even say that with you and with our next guest that's coming up from the library. And that's just two agencies that do so many things. There's so much to do in this community.
Yes, Alpena's great for that.
It is. So you want to start us out with Poetic Visions.
Yes, so on Tuesday the 13th, it's a great way to kick off your Valentine's Day celebration. We are opening 3 exhibits with a reception that's free and open to the public.
Okay.
We're just taking a free will offering, and it's sponsored by Real Estate One of Alpena.
Yay!
So we'll have 2 art exhibits opening and then 1 history exhibit. So of the 2 art exhibits is one called Poetic Visions,
Okay.
the art of Lebedang. And we will have 18 pieces of his that will be on display for the first time at the museum, all as one exhibit.
Wow.
So this is really exciting. The funding for the framing was provided by the Candace Smith Fund,
Okay.
as well as last year we did the non-juried art exhibit, Best Foot Forward, and the proceeds from that also went toward framing of this exhibit.
So tell us about Lebanon.
So he is a Vietnamese-born French artist
Okay.
who lived from 1922 to 2015, and he's a printmaker, sculptor, and painter. So this art is so colorful. There's so much to see. A lot of it is reminiscent of the memories of the landscapes he grew up with.
Okay.
So it's absolutely stunning. And he had a poetic vision that was inspired by nature and man's place within nature.
Okay.
So there's a lot to see. And one of my favorite quotes that I brought with me today of him is, "An artist's true wealth comes from the diversity of his creation."
Wow.
So he's really prolific. And a lot of help in setting this exhibit came from Vicki Wright. So we were really glad to bring her on board for.
And then how long will this exhibit be up?
So this will be up through most of the year.
Okay.
All of the dates on our exhibits can be found on our website, bessermuseum.org. If you go over on the header, there's a menu, and you go to exhibits. There's art, history, science. Go to the art page, and it will show you all of our art exhibits and information about those.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So
So-
one.
Opening also February 13th at 5:30, it goes 5:30 to 7 o'clock, is our Winter Blues 2 foot by 2
Yes.
foot non-juried art exhibit. And this one has been so much fun watching the entries come in. We had 44 entries total.
Wow.
And it's all themed around the winter blues. And blue just always has kind of a bluesy feeling. You know, you don't realize that the color blue really evokes so much within us. It's known for intelligence and creativity. And it's just got so many characteristics to it.
And that's what Chris said when she was here before. She said the color blue, normally you think it, oh, depressing, but it's exact opposite.
It is. It truly is. And when you see the entries that came in, they had 2 stipulations. It had to be 60% blue or more, and 2 feet or smaller. And when you look at the diversity of art that came in, some took it so literally, and some really took it and just came out with some really abstract creations.
I know the last time you did it, I was amazed at the talent that was in our community.
Yes.
And at the creativity. I couldn't believe. I thought, wow, I never would have ever thought of that. Some of the creations with the things found on the beach and all the different way people put it together, and it was art, and it truly was.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up, because Chris Witulski, our executive director, submitted a piece, and it is with found pieces from the beach. And it is absolutely stunning how it just, she took a portrait and a picture and made it 3D. It's really neat.
I haven't seen it all put together. I saw it a little bit in the beginning, so I'm excited to come and see it all together.
It's great.
Okay, and your third exhibit?
And our third exhibit, I brought a prop with me here today, is called Alpena, the Town That Wouldn't Die. And so this is basically this book brought to life. So you'll see many of the pictures, we couldn't put all of them up, from the 1870s all the way to the 1940s.
Wow.
See, Alpena was a lumber town, and lumber towns were doomed because when the trees were gone, what were they going to do? Well, we decided that when the lumber was gone, and for lumbering, we had paper, Fletcher Paper Company, which went on for 100 years. We had so many with HPC and with Lafarge now and Besser. They've really kept our town going. So we truly are the town that wouldn't die.
Yay. So how long will that exhibit be up?
So this one will be up through most of the year as well.
Okay.
And what's really great about this exhibit is we're partnering with the Alpena County Library and working with Bob Lingos and some of the other staff over there to create a virtual history exhibit.
Wow.
So Bob is going to come and record. We're going to record him talking about these pictures because he truly is a local historian.
Yes, he is.
He is a wealth of knowledge, and I could sit and listen to him for hours. So we're really excited to provide this for the community.
Exciting. And if anyone needs more information, they can go on your website again, which is?
BesserMuseum.org. And right on the home page, we always have our upcoming and current exhibits rotating. And then you can also go to the exhibits tab and look at all of them for art, history, and science. But this reception specifically is on our home page, and you can get that information. It's Tuesday, February 13th from 5:30 to 7.
And sponsored by Real Estate One. And lots of good people have come together to make these 3 exhibits possible. So please come to the museum and see the exhibits.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Kat. Look forward to talking to you next month.
Thank you.
I'll be right back with Jessica Luther from Alpena County Library following these messages. Hi, welcome back. I'm with Jessica Luther from Alpena County Library. Good morning, Jessica.
Morning, Nancy.
I know that you're extremely busy at the library as always, and like we talked with our previous guests, there's always so many things to come and see and do, and the library is a big part of all that's happening in our community.
Yes, there's a flurry of activity for sure. The biggest thing we have going on is it's tax season.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we do not have the forms yet, and that's every day we get the calls. We're anticipating getting the booklets and the forms probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
But, for those people who aren't willing to wait or want to wait, they can always go to the IRS's website and download them, and we're happy to print them off for them in the reference section. And of course, AARP is back doing free taxes for senior citizens and those with low incomes. And they are taking appointments, and they have a separate dedicated line that they're taking those appointments at, and that number is 464-0982. We've been fielding a lot of calls for them, but that's...
And we do ask that strictly low income, strictly seniors, strictly simple tax.
Yes.
I mean, if you own 25 businesses, please don't bring your taxes in for
that might be a little beyond their skill set.
For the AARP to do.
But yeah, and they've shifted their locations due to our building issues, so they are not going to be on the second floor right now. If you're looking for them, they are off in our back room. If you come to the circulation desk, our ladies will help direct.
Okay.
So we're slowly getting that settled. So that's
and that's a wonderful service for our community that happens every year. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's outstanding, and they're just they've gone through a ton of training, and I think I think a lot of people really benefit from that program.
Oh, I do too.
But back to regular library business. We are doing the Great Michigan Read. I know I alluded to that probably in previous months.
You did.
And that's a program by the Michigan Humanities Council to bring the state together to read the same book and kind of explore what makes us the same and makes us different as residents of the state of Michigan. And this year it's X, a novel, which is written by Malcolm X's third daughter has written this. And it's a fictionalized account of Malcolm's youth. And it's written in a young adult style, but that shouldn't turn anybody off. It's really it's a nice read. The language is it's beautiful but simple at the same time. I just started it last week, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a wonderful tale of reinvention and redemption, and just how he took all of this adversity that was in his life, his father's murder, and his mother was committed to a mental institution, and it made him one of the preeminent civil rights leaders. And so we are really excited to be able to bring this book to Alpena. We do have many copies available for checkout. We are also encouraging students at Alpena Community College. They have copies available at their library as well that we've dropped off for them. and we will be doing a community book discussion on April the 12th at 6:30. So that's giving people plenty of time to get a copy of the book and read it. But it's super excited about that.
And you know, the best thing about that, Jessica, is one time I did the brown books and bags for the library, and I read the book, The Grass is Always Greener on the Septic Tank, because I loved Irma Bombeck. So I got all nervous, and I went there, and I had all these things highlighted, and I knew about the book and what I thought the book meant and the version. And when I did the discussion with the other people, I was amazed at how they read the book, how they interpreted it, what they thought different things meant. It was out of my scope, and it was so interesting. And so I've learned now when I read a book to look at it from different perspectives due to having been in that discussion.
Yes, I find that reading a book with a group of people, it's really eye-opening.
Yes.
And we do actually, the Michigan Humanities Council provided us with copies of a reader's guide.
Okay.
So if people want a little help as they're reading, you know, kind of like those book club guides you find at the back of your book, we do have those available for people.
Okay.
So, and good news, we have the Moxie Strings coming back.
Yay.
February the 24th at 1 o'clock, and that is supported by the Michigan Humanities Council and Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs,
Okay.
which honestly we cannot thank them enough for letting us, for making it possible for us to bring
Yes.
programming like this. They most recently supported Judy Sema that we had this past week for the Holocaust presentation. We had over 250 people in the library for that.
Amazing.
It was standing room only. And then another return engagement, we have stitching at the library starting up again. It's every other Wednesday. Our next date will be the 21st of February, and it's from 2:30 to 4 o'clock.
Okay.
You can drop in with your knitting project, your needlepoint project, your crochet project, you know, whatever gentle art it is that you enjoy.
Wow.
And we're going to have tea and cookies for those who are participating. One of our reference staff, Meg, she's taking that on. She's just a amazing knitter. I'm just always astounded by the
Wow.
things she comes in with at work. So we're super excited about that. We will be closed on President's Day, which is February 19th. And we do have our upcoming computer classes that we encourage people to register for if you're a little reticent with using Google Docs and Google Sheets, or you know, the internet still kind of scares you a little bit. And you know, those classes for $5, you're really gaining a skill set, and then
yes.
you're a little more secure when you're working online.
Well, and I encourage people to call and get reservations made for those classes because they fill up very quickly.
They do, and Nancy does a fantastic job.
She does. She makes things understandable for any skill level.
She does, yes. Sometimes she has to explain things to me.
Okay, and so those are the things that are going on that are special. So tell me about all the normal, regular, everyday Alpena County Library things.
We've got story hours and preschool playdates are going at full throttle. We have Tinker Tuesdays are back. Those are every other Tuesday. And Nancy, again, she comes down with all of her fun maker projects. We have the 3D printer, we have some coding projects, and just you come down. It's a very noisy afternoon. So we've got that going on, and you know, Special Collections is still crammed into their little room, but they are still busy as can be. Marlowe's really looking forward to being able to start up some programming again once they get shifted back into their space. So we're just plugging through the year. We've got some music coming in March and April. We have Lee Kitzman and Chris Crown coming in March, and then we'll have Troy Graham coming back in April. So we're already planning the summer book club. It's a very busy time right now.
So how do we find out what's the best way to find out all this information?
So you can visit our website, which is alpenalibrary.org, or you can visit our Facebook page. We post all of our events on Facebook, and we have an Instagram now that you can follow. We are trying to kind of give you a nice view of what's happening in the library that you won't necessarily find on our Facebook page. And you can always call and ask one of the ladies at the circ desk what's happening.
356-6188.
Yes.
I know that number. All right. Well, Jessica, thank you for being here, and thank you to the staff for all this wonderful programming that you put out there for us. And I'm hoping that you have a line out your door every time you do something.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Dan McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Dan McMaster, I'm president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Dawn Stone, director of the TAC Grant.
Good morning.
Pleased to have you with us.
Thank you.
So, Dawn, essentially you do workforce development for the college.
Yes.
And, we have a neat event with the Chamber coming up this week, so why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about it?
We do. So annually, the Alpena Chamber of Commerce has a dinner, and they invite all of the members of the Chamber. And we at the college are tasked with developing or identifying an organization who receives the Workforce Development Award for the year. So that's the event. It's a really wonderful dinner and a great time to meet and network with folks.
Yeah, it is. And, in the last year, I think they maybe had 600 or more people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big event.
It is.
And the college has been giving this award for a long time.
A long time, yes. Yep.
And can you spill the beans as to who wins the award this year?
I can. So this year, the Workforce Development Award is given to Alpena Power Company. And there were some varying reasons as to why we decided to give the award to Alpena Power this year. Some of the really neat things that they've done. First of all, I know that we've spoken a number of times about our drone program, and our drone program is really dynamic, and we found that focusing on working with utility companies was a very, it was I think a smart move in that that industry is one that uses drones most effectively at work. So we had an organization come in and want to train a number of folks on how to use drones in the field, and they were all line workers from out west. And so we went to Alpena Power Company and we said, we want to make this training event as applicable as we possibly can, and can we use your live lines? And weren't really sure what kind of a reaction we would get, because that's kind of a big deal. Those are live electrical utility lines, and without hesitation, they said absolutely. So that was kind of the most impactful for me, because they didn't have to do it. And they really didn't have any benefit by offering the use of their lines to enhance our training opportunity. So that was one of the reasons that we chose them. So it wasn't a direct benefit for workforce development for their crew or their organization, but overall as an entire nation, and needing to improve and become more efficient in utility work, utilizing drones is very important. And they saw that value, so they offered that up to us without hesitation. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it is fantastic. And Alpena Power has a long, long history of supporting the college. They don't generally look at an opportunity or something they might do on our behalf in terms of how it might benefit them directly.
Absolutely.
But they're most well known, certainly, for their support and their inspiration in starting the Utility Tech Line Workers Program,
right,
which has grown to be probably our most popular, vibrant program. And there's that interrelation between drones and that program that you referenced.
Right, absolutely. And in addition to that, they've been instrumental in helping develop and kind of create and streamline and make the most effective bachelor's program in electrical systems technology. Again, not as a direct benefit to them, but just as a partnership to with us, and as a demonstration to the value of it in the entire industry. And that's really cool.
That is really cool. Yeah. And we couldn't be more grateful to them.
Absolutely.
For it. So
yeah, they're very deserving of the award. And as a side note, it's kind of a small piece, but the utility line workers, students at ACC, and the concrete tech students all have to take a job search class, and they have been willing to come in and do mock interviews and speak to the class, and the utility students, they're a hardcore group. They know that the job is going to be hard, that it's going to be all out, mostly outdoors. It's an intense program, and so, but to have somebody who has done it, right, and lived it, and and represents a reputable company in our community, to come in and do the mock interviews and then speak to the class as to exactly what it means to be out in the field, and literally and figuratively, yes, in this case. So they also have volunteered their time to do that. Yeah,
they've been great. And so what you're describing to me is the perfect workforce fit.
It is.
You have an employer who has a need and a broad vision of of their workforce and where that fits in the community, and a college that works with them to create something that aligns very well.
Right.
And that's what you do.
And that's what we do. That is. This event is a wonderful opportunity for us to say thank you to one specific company, but over the years, we've worked with a lot of companies, and we will continue to do so and continue to grow in the aspect of workforce development on a more generic term or basis. So for example, we've done Excel training for certain organizations in our community where they've just called us up and said, I've got 50 staff who need a little bit of help with Excel. And so we develop and deliver courses specific to that business's need, and they pay a little bit for it, for us to do it. It's a really great deal because, we're right here, and we have exceptional, faculty and instructors that can do that. Under the Workforce Development Department, most everything we do is non-credit, so we don't have to adhere to a traditional schedule, which works very well for businesses because typically they like to move a lot faster. So we're doing a lot more workforce development activities in general, and that was just one example. So.
We have about 45 seconds left. Is there a specific workforce thing that you have going on that you would like to share with folks in that amount of time?
Well, we like I said, we're currently going to be doing Excel training and Word training for a local bank. We've done that in the past. We're developing some construction worker training because with certain sites require certain specific certifications for people to be able to do construction work on site. So we're delivering that. But just basically, we can do almost anything for any business, and we can do it quickly and efficiently.
Wonderful. Dawn, thank you. I look forward to seeing the award Thursday night. And thank you, folks, for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.